8. Day by day, I got better. I lived in Hakodate with my parents for 3 years. Day by day, I got better. I was able to drive again, and I could go to the hospital by myself. But I could not make friends. Sometimes my mom's friends visited us. I was happy my mom was having a good time with her friends. Now I think my mom must have been having a hard time because she looked at my dull face all day long. 9. I appreciated my parents. Of course, my dad worried about me. When my dad was off work, we went together with his car to eat delicious food. I also went to hot springs with them, and I went to stores where plants were sold. I appreciated my parents, but I could not feel I was happy. I wanted to be loved by someone other than my parents. 10. I was afraid that I could not reply. After my dad retired, we lived in Sapporo with my mom's parents. I was able to get part-time job at a supermarket. When I was cutting meat in the butcher's kitchen, I was happy to feel that I could work. But it was very difficult for me to bring the meat to the sales floor. If the customers asked me where things were, I was afraid that I could not reply. I was not good at dealing with people. 11. I was stressed out. I went to the hospital properly. I always took my medicine every time. Yet I was stressed out. I finally quitted my job. I decided to look for a new job. I became a temporary worker and worked at a meat factory. I laughed a little, saying that I have a connection with meat. It was only for a short time that I was doing well. My right hand holding a knife, and my fingers began to hurt. I could not cut meat anymore, and I had to quit my job. 12. I met a good man. I was introduced to the next job by a temporary work agency. It was a job to inspect watch parts. I was happy to be able to work. And I finally met a good man. Can you believe it? A prince appeared to me. But I remembered that I lost my job and boyfriend when I was 27. I told him all about me. He smiled at me and said, "Just try a relationship and think about it later." 13. It has been 6 years since I got sick. I was so glad. It has been 6 years since I got sick. I worked fine every day. I fell in love like a mentally normal person. I continued to take medicine and went to the hospital. But I thought I was back to the past time. I regained myself, which had disappeared. However, you never know what will happen in life. The world was in trouble, and I lost my job due to staff cut. 14. I wanted a job. Since I was 35 years old, no one would hire me. When the interviewer saw my resume, he asked me about my educational background and said, "You can work in a better place." I applied for many jobs, but I was not accepted because I was annoyed. I was in the mood to break up with my lover. I wanted a job, any kind of job. The person who eventually hired me was the manager of golf courses. 15. I was stressed out. I decided to train as a caddy for a year. I had good relationship with golfers, but I did not get along with most of my seniors. I only listened to what my favorite senior said. I did not want to hear what other seniors said. I was stressed out. I parked my car on a riverbed. I slept a little and went back home. I thought I would have an accident if I was tired. And then another nightmare hit me. In the second year, I was never hired as a caddy. 16. I decided to move house. To tell the truth, the manager hired me for the second year as well. I felt good with my boyfriend, and at the end of the first year, I used to go to work from his room. However, a room for one person, it was hard to live with two persons. Just because the room in front of his room became vacant, I decided to move there. Before the caddy's jobs begin, I tried so hard to be ready.